You asked for another one of these reaction to TikTok videos, so here it is. If you don't know who I am, my name is Raul Belufe. I'm a real estate investor, wholesaler out of Miami, Florida. We flip hundreds of deals between wholesale, fix and flips, long-term rentals, short-term rentals. And the purpose of this channel is to help you get that very next deal or your first deal. Let's see what these TikTok people have to say.
Things rich people won't tell you, but I will. Part 2. 1. Investing isn't just for the rich, it's how you become rich. 2. You'll never be financially safe until you have more than one source of income that you can rely on. 3. Rich people always negotiate and never agree to the first offer. If you don't know where to start, follow me to learn more.
The last one wasn't true. The rich people always negotiate and never agree to the first offer. I mean, I've bought houses at asking price all the time. There's just one example, but I like her voice. It was very soothing. I feel it was very mother-esque. No comment on the rest of her videos. Kind of whack. All right, let's go to the next one.
If I were starting over in my 20s with no money or assets, here are the top 3 things I would do to get started in investing.
Walking in the snow in a selfie video, you know this guy means business. I like this guy.
Number 1, I would open a TD Ameritrade or an E-Trade account and immediately start putting in $25 to $100 a month and invest in index funds. I like VOO, VGT, and SLYV.
So I like that principle. I mean, I'm not an index funds, whatever, expert. I do have some index funds, and I have actually something very similar. Money goes out every week. Just the principle of having something take money out of your account and save it, whether it's an index funds or whatever else you want, I think that is very, very powerful. So I agree with him so far.
Number 2, I would open a Fundrise account so I could start investing in real estate immediately. You can start with as little as $10 and I would add to this account immediately. This is a great place to get into real estate with very little money. And number 3, and this one is great, I would open an Acorns account. I love this app because you can set it to round up all of your little purchases. Then it invests that money immediately. I personally would set it to moderate risk. These are 3 great ways to get started with little money. Okay, so we have the plan. Let's go.
I like what he says. Basically, the principle is set up these apps so it could take money out of your account and invest it for you so that in the future it's going to compound and make you, a bajillionaire, which is the principle I think is real. I just think that it's hard for most people to, do one app. 3 apps and this and that. A little crazy. On the real estate side, that's where I could kind of come in and help. I think that, yes, the Fundrise, if I'm correct, I think Fundrise is like a crowdfunding platform or something. If you have time on your hands, I would not invest in Fundrise. I would invest in something that gets you a real estate deal by yourself. That would be my advice to him. Besides that, really cool looking dude, slick back gray hair in the snow. I mean, he's for sure carrying a gun somewhere in his jacket, which would be pretty interesting. Sunglasses, not even sunny outside. This guy's got it going on.
I'm 19. What would you do if you had $100K and you wanted to invest that and turn that into $1 million?
By when?
25.
You want to make $900,000 in 6 years on an investment?
Well, just a question.
He should have just said yes.
I'm not angry. I'm just truly wondering. So what's the actual goal there of I want to have $1 million by 26?
So right now, I work for...
First off, this guy does not sound 19 years old. His voice is pretty intense. First off.
Company where I sell roofs through insurance companies, and I make pretty decently. I was wondering how can I start at my own type of situation, or that I can invest in other things and gain passive income from those with assets.
So this idea of passive income is actually a myth. It's so much harder than it looks, and almost nobody can actually achieve it. And so do you actually have $100,000?
I have about 30K right now.
Okay. And is that all the money to your name?
Liquid, yeah.
Do you have any debt?
No.
you are crushing it, my man. 19 years old with 30 grand, no debt. This is a great starting point. How much of that would you call a 6-month emergency fund? If you added what 1 month of expenses are times 6.
That would probably be like 2-3K. I don't really spend much.
Okay, so let's call it.
So he's definitely Dave Ramsey's student, or no, not student. I think this is Dave Ramsey's like apprentice or family member or something. I can already see where he's going. I think with this 19-year-old guy, he just seems very ambitious. And I think he just really wants to go down that rabbit hole of how would it even be possible to make that 100 grand turn into $1 million. So my answer would be a little different. We're almost done with the video, so I'm not sure where he's going to go with this. But I would already just start saying, dude, it's not going to be an investment. The only way you're going to turn that 100,000 into $1 million in that short of time is if you put it into something that equates to active income for you. So whether it's investing money into marketing for a business or investing in a something that is like a new business for you for active income. So passive income with 100K to get to $1 million, definitely not going to happen. I don't really see that happening in that short amount of time. So let's see where he ends up going with this.
So let's call it 20K is your fully funded emergency fund. You've got 10K to play around with. And then do you have any investing options through your employer currently?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you're on your own for investing.
Yeah.
So the first place I would go is open a Roth IRA, and I would fully fund that. That's going to be about $6,500.
Oh God, Roth IRA, jeez Louise.
Okay.
So you could do that, and the end goal is start investing 15% of your income, because we still have other things we've got to do with our life. We've got to go on vacation. We got to upgrade the car. You want to be a homeowner one day?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm looking at that next year.
So then we got to save up a down payment. So we can't do everything all at once. And so I love 15% as a starting point because it allows us to focus on other goals, like saving up that down payment. So I love the goal of like, I want to be a millionaire one day. But the idea that I'm going to turn 100,000 into $1 million 6 years from now, that tells me you're more likely to lose it than you are to gain anything.
Yeah.
Because most of the strategies involved to turn money that quickly involve a lot of risk.
Actually, he's not wrong at that last point. But no, starting a Roth IRA would not be the first thing I do. I get it. I get the whole tax thing. No, I'd probably just spend a lot more money learning different skills to make you more active income. So I think he said he was in the roofing business or he worked for a roofing thing. So I would say, how can I take my extra 10 grand or 30 grand that he had and invest it in getting some more roofing leads so I could turn this 10,000 into 20,000 and 50,000? And how can I get new clients? Maybe how can I take this and buy the materials of a roof and sell it for more? I don't know. I'm not in the roofing business, but I would get creative in my roofing industry if that's what he's in, and I'll use the money for that to grow it. I'll spend a big chunk of that money or invest a big chunk of that money into like a roofing mentor or a roofing coach, someone who's like grown a nice roofing company, is willing to teach you. So that's the difference I would have from this. I would not start a Roth. I would not go down that rabbit hole. But overall, some of the things he said were somewhat decent.
It took me 15 years to learn this. I'm going to teach you in 1 minute. And there are not that many people on this planet that understand what I'm about to show you.
Ooh.
It's complex.
First off, his hook is great. I'm intrigued.
I'm going to make it very simple. The government needs real estate built. And because of that, they influence behaviors to put dollars in that asset class. One way they do that is by allowing investors to depreciate their asset. Let's say this camera is the apartment, since I don't have an apartment. This apartment I
So you're teaching real estate, but you don't have an apartment?
bought for $1.5 million. Building itself is worth $1 million. Let's say this building pays me $5,600 a month, but I have to pay my expenses and my debt, which equals $4,000. So I'm left with $1,600 of cash flow every month, or $19,200 of cash flow annually. Now, this is what the government allows you to do. They allow you to depreciate this asset over 27 and a half years. So I would take $1 million, divide that by 27 and a half years, which would give me $36,363 to depreciate each year. When you look at my $19,200 of what would be taxable income,
There's a lot of numbers on this thing. It's like, I mean, I get it, but it's a lot. Let me keep going.
when I subtract it by the $36,363,
This is literally like a full math equation. Like I feel I have to write with a marker here to figure this out.
I actually show a loss of $17,163. So that means all of this, I don't pay taxes on. And that negative $17,000, I can actually use to offset against future income or other income I made that year.
That's a good video. Obviously, that's true. That's called depreciation on real estate assets. You could also do what's called a cost segregation and depreciate. Instead of 27 and a half years, you get it in year one. There's a lot of rules, so definitely, I'm not an accountant, but the video was good, definitely informative. I think a little too many numbers on one little screen, but it's true. Buy real estate, depreciate it, save money on taxes. It's been known forever. Do it.
Do you want to be the first millionaire in your family?
He's back,
Here are
the
my
man
three
with the
best
hair.
tips to help you achieve it.
I like this guy.
Number one, start investing early and often. And don't listen to the fake gurus.
Why is he breathing so hard? He's not walking that fast.
Gurus that tell you need 20 to 50 grand to get started. That's just bullshit. Find a way to save $50 to $100 a week starting out and let compounding do the rest. And number two, you have to change your mindset. When you get money, rather than thinking about what can I buy, think about how can I invest it. And number three, swap out 3 time sucks, you know what they are, and use that time to learn 2 new skill sets.
That I like.
If you do this for 3 to 6 months, you can easily add 2 more income streams and you'll be on your way. All right, so we have the plan. Let's go.
I like how he ends it. Yeah, I mean, these are good tips. I like to think about the skills. Wealth is the gap of income and expenses. So the idea of even starting with 50 bucks a week or 100 bucks a week to get saved is good because it starts creating good habits for that gap. You know, if you make 300 grand a year but spend 299, or if you make 80 grand a year and you spend 20, this person's richer or more wealthy because the gap. And so what I like about what he's saying is that it's pretty much influencing like good behavior. So that's pretty cool.
That will be $6.99. Debit or credit? I'll pay on credit. Sounds like money's a bit tight. No. Look, lady, you seem nice, so here's some advice. Dave Ramsey says you should never pay on credit because debt will ruin your life. Here's the thing, I could pay with my debit card, but then I'd miss out on cashback, rewards, cell phone protection, and building my credit score. The most important thing is that I pay it back on time. This purchase was in my budget, and I have my credit card set on auto pay, so I don't need to worry about that. Maybe I should stop listening to judgmental advice from Dave Ramsey and follow you instead.
I like that. I like that little Apple store. I mean, if an Apple store person actually was giving financial advice, that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, using credit cards versus debit cards, there's definitely a lot of contradictory views about this. I definitely think credit cards can get people in more trouble than not. You have to have a lot of discipline and you actually have to have a lot of income coming in to make sure you're covering your cards. But if you do it correctly, I mean, the points is crazy, all the benefits and stuff. You know, like I leave to Europe in a couple of days and I'm flying first class, pretty much all in points from using credit cards for my business and stuff. So if you do it correctly, it could work, but it can get you into a lot of trouble. I would say if you don't have a consistent income, I wouldn't use credit cards. If you did, then I would. And as long as your discipline's good and you have your credit cards set up on payments and all that, then go for it. So that was reacting to TikTok investing advice. Some of it was really good. Some of it was not so good. At the end of the day, this is all opinions, my opinion versus their opinion. Ultimately, you have to do your own research and determine what works for you. They are pretty entertaining, and I actually really enjoy doing this. So I hope you got something out of this video. Leave something in the comment below of maybe a TikTok that you'd want me to review or something interesting that you found on TikTok regarding investing advice, and I'll check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.